So now all we need to do is add in our bot. And in order to interface with our bot, we're going to need to change some of the code that we have. One, our bot runs its own event loop, and our dashboard runs its own event loop. And instead of trying to merge those two event loops, right, adding the bot to the dashboard or vice versa, well, we can just keep these two things separate. And so all I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to run the bot just in a separate thread. And the nice thing about this is, right, they'll share some statefulness, so I can actually have some global memory access from my bot and my dashboard and vice versa. And all I would need to do to actually have my bot interact is effectively, let's see if we can add some links from my dashboard. And so I'll have dashboard.addLink URL right here. And so my bot will be calling this method every single time I add a URL with my / command in Discord. So let's go ahead and actually create that method. And this takes a URL, good. And instead of updating the blocked URLs, we're going to be updating the links received here. And so you see I have this parameter here, links received list. This will update my link pane. And so instead of updating my block list, this will actually look very similar. Links received. Yep, links with an S, just making sure I'm not misspelling anything. Links received there, and then the link pane. And then we need to add this pane to our output as well. And so we'll give this title links received. Okay, let's see if this works. All right, so here we have our links received, and let's pass our bot some information, or a thread here. So /review. Not going to give it a link, I'll give it just a message. And so the bot ran that okay. Oh, and you see that we have updated our dashboard. And so we have unidirectional communication already in maybe 80 lines of code, 70 lines of code. And so if I add another link here, this website creates my thread, bot does everything on Discord automated, and you can see my dashboard has updated that as well. And so that's one of the conveniences that we have, right, by keeping these two things in the same process, is that they can actually access each other's state, manipulate it. Is that what we're going to want to do long term? Who knows? But for now, this actually, I would say this simplifies some of our debugging process, right? If something were to go wrong with one of them, we could investigate, right? We have one source of logs. We would just need to set up a logger to log from different threads, because our dashboard's running in our main thread and our bot's running in a side thread here. So, if we want to add a little bit more interactivity, right, we can send messages from the bot, from Discord to our dashboard. What about vice versa? What if I want to, from my dashboard, have my bot check whether or not, right, a URL should be blocked? And so we can do that. We can just actually access our dashboard instance, and we can say if the inputted URL, right, the article review URL here, is in my dashboard.block list, well, then we would capture the user who sent that, and this comes in our interaction. And then we would create some type of message and say, I don't know, are all the companies still apologizing for anything? We'd say, sorry, your URL was blocked. Contact your admin. All right, and then we simply need to have the bot send that message back through its response. And we would have that send a message. We would pass the message here. And then something else we would probably want to do is pass in ephemeral equals true, and ephemeral, if I can spell it correctly. Essentially, what this will do on Discord is send a message so that only the user can see it, which is slightly different from a direct message. We're not sending a direct message, we're sending a message in the channel where the / command was created. And we are saying, hey, sorry, your URL is blocked. And then from there, I actually don't want to execute the rest, right, of this bot's capability. And so you start to see a little bit of the control flow here of create a thread, right, create our poll, unless that URL is in our block list. And remember that our block list is continuously being updated by our add blocked URL. So let's go ahead and take a look at our dashboard now. So if I have the URL, dutc.io, we'll click that. And so this is logged into the state of my dashboard, so it should have updated that block list. Now, if we pass review to dutc.io, we have an unresponsive application, and I'm willing to bet we misspelled interaction. So let's go ahead and make sure we fix that. Interaction, good. Let's give that another run. And when working with dashboards, you're always going to have a little bit of manual testing that needs to be done because you're making sure multiple ends work. And so that's effectively what we're doing here. And you can see, sorry, your URL dutc.io was blocked. Contact your administrator. Let's try with a different URL. Let's try, right, google.com. I trust google.com, so that works. And then live, I can, in my dashboard here, say, you know what, if somebody gives you google.com, I don't want it to work anymore. It was fine that it worked that one time, but google.com is going to be blocked. I don't want anybody sharing that URL. And so we have successfully created an application that features bidirectional communication. It can transmit data from our bot to our dashboard and from our dashboard to our bot. And all it's doing is using the statefulness of each of these entities and reading from that state in order to activate some behaviors. And I'd say this is fine and dandy. Everything works here as we expect it to. The dashboard could look a little bit prettier, but we're successfully either blocking or not blocking. We've featured some automated behavior. Now, this works until I rerun the application and it restarts, and all of a sudden, google.com works again, right? And that's because my dashboard here has completely lost its statefulness. So this is why we would need something like an intermediary or something to actually persist the data that we're working with. And so let's take that example and think of, well, how could things go wrong in the real world? What happens if our dashboard crashes? Or if our dashboard, the server that it's running on, if it's not running on distributed system, what happens if that turns off? The bot would effectively be looking for URLs that are inaccessible because the state of the dashboard has been lost. And so I don't think it would be a good idea if our dashboard is the only thing holding on to the state of an application. Dashboards are designed to have some observability, but they should not be the application that's holding on to all of your data. And even more direct, regardless of a dashboard or not, I wouldn't say that only holding on to data in virtual memory is a good idea, because that memory is likely to be lost and you don't want to lose the statefulness of things. And so you want to try and be as stateless as possible. And so we'll need some form of data persistence in order to circumvent that. But what happens if our bot crashes now? Well, if our bot crashes, I mean, this is fairly unidirectional. Our dashboard's not, querying our bot for anything necessarily. Our bot is simply pushing information to the dashboard and it's pulling information from the dashboard. And so if our bot crashes, our dashboard is still going to work. It's not going to receive any updates. But the main thing, right, if our bot crashes, well, then our Discord bot doesn't work, and that's just a shame in itself. But this type of unidirectional, this push-pull flow from our bot onto our dashboard is actually quite nice from the bot's perspective, or from the dashboard's perspective, because if the bot crashes, the dashboard, it won't crash, but it kind of becomes useless because its state will never change, and you need to reboot the bot. The nice thing is you don't lose the statefulness, all of the data that the dashboard has already generated or the bot has already sent. So that's a little bit of a trade-off. And of course, if you manually restart the application, right, since these are both on the same instance, you saw when I reset it, I lost absolutely everything. And so dashboards or processes are not a source of data persistence. And so if your dashboards are, just temporary, well, your data should be too. It shouldn't really affect you if you lose information in that dashboard. And I think the best example of that is just something like HTOP, right? This is, don't get me wrong, this is a form of a dashboard, is it not? But the nice thing is I can stop it, I can restart it, I can stop it again, and I lose history. But for this dashboard, I'm not curious about history necessarily. I just want to see the current state of things. And so not all dashboards need to be designed with this type of data persistence. And so just keep that in mind as we move forward.